Welcome to Wedding Waffle, a very chatty podcast with three industry professionals covering all things wedding, including your dilemmas, shocking stats, and just general wedding chit-chat. Get cosy and join us as we discuss anything and everything to do with weddings. Absolutely nothing is off limits. Brought to you by Bouquet and Bells, together with Flowers at the Dutch Barn and the Red Rose Cake Company. Hello and welcome back to Wedding Waffle. We're on episode 6 now. This is the final episode in our series, so we have all got a glass of fizz in our hands.
Woo! Cheers!
We're all doing a big cheers, clink clink. So we'll try and contain ourselves as much as we can. But yes, so I am obviously Claire from Bouquet and Bells, and you know us all now. I am with Caroline from Flowers at the Dutch Barn.
Hello.
And Julie from the Red Rose Cake Company.
Hello.
So, first topic today is we're talking about brides traditionally wearing a white long dress. So do you think that wedding dresses have to be white and full length and everything you picture when you hear the word wedding dress? Do you think that's what they should be, Julie?
No. Absolutely not. I think wear what you want to wear. My wedding dress was ivory with black. And in fact, that was my second wedding, but my first wedding wasn't a white dress either. So I think, as always, be true to yourself. Be comfortable. Choose what suits you. What suits you. What your idea of your wedding is going to be.
Yeah.
And I think once you find that dress, you'll know that's the one for you.
I think you're right. Yeah,
I agree with that, and I think a lot of dresses aren't actually white, are they? They're like an off-white or an ivory or a blush now.
Yeah.
I've seen one. Oh, it was gorgeous. It was like a grey blue, and it was so beautiful. Didn't suit me, but it was beautiful. And I've got a bride who because obviously with all of COVID and the pandemic, a lot of people have decided they're going to get married and do the marriage, and then they're going to do their reception and a vow renewal, say 12 months later. And I've got one bride, and I'm sure she won't mind me saying, and she's going for a bright, like emerald green jumpsuit with sequins on the back. And I think it is really cool, like really, really cool. And because she's comfortable and they want something different, and and then they're going for pizza afterwards, and I just think, why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
It doesn't have to be a Cinderella but in white dress. It doesn't have to be that.
Dare to be different.
Yeah.
Dare to be you.
Be comfortable.
Well, I'm all for non-traditional.
Yeah.
I like when people choose me, and I agree. I've got quite a few brides who've done the same thing. So they changed their outfit for a smaller wedding, and then they're going to wear their original wedding dress on their next celebration.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
We said, because Carl and I, because we're having to move our wedding and what have you, we sort of did talk about if we would do a registry office, what would you wear? And Carl was like, I'll just chuck on a suit. He's always dresses quite smart, but I've got a dress in my wardrobe which we bought in Hawaii, and it's like a satin pink at the bottom. It's quite poofy. I don't know when I'm ever going to wear this, by the way. I just really liked it, but the top is black, and I was like, perfect for a marriage reception, not reception.
I know what you mean.
Registrar thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. But I thought it's perfect. Yeah. And I think, like, because I said to Carl, I was like, I'd love to have a bouquet and stuff. He's like, no. Like, we're doing the legal part, not the wedding part. He was like, I wouldn't want to see you in your wedding dress because it's different. Whereas some of my couples have worn their wedding dress, but for me, I think, no, a bit more casual, but still really dressy at the same time. Now I just don't know what I'm going to wear that dress for, but I just bought it because I liked it.
Well, that's the best reason to buy things, isn't it? Because you like them.
Yeah.
Well, for me, there was no other option. To be honest, I'd always just pictured myself in a white dress, full length dress, and to be honest, I didn't look at anything else. And I think for me, because I wanted to feel like a bride,
Yes.
and to me, my image of a bride is a white long dress. So that was why I thought, I'm never in my life again probably going to wear a white full-length dress.
It's not very practical, is it? White?
No, not at all. I never wear white for that reason. It's just, not practical.
It's not very slimming either.
It's not flattering, no. It gets dirty very quickly. Just things that, don't really go well together. So for me, there was no other option, but I can understand that if you don't want that, then don't do it.
There's so many options now.
Yeah, exactly. I do like the idea of a blush pink. That would have been quite cool as well.
My sister-in-law, my stepsister, sorry, had blush pink, and she looked gorgeous. Yeah, blonde hair, big eyes, and absolutely gorgeous. And that was when it was at the very beginning. It was like 2017 when it wasn't really a trend, and it was like, whoa, look at her. It looks stunning.
Cool.
I had a bride last year before, and she wore a really quite a silvery grey dress, but she looked beautiful. It really suited her colouring, and it was satin. It was very plain, but she looked beautiful.
But I think you've just hit the nail on the head. It's about your colouring as well, isn't it? Like, white does not suit everybody at all, and I don't think many brides actually do wear white.
No.
Yeah, I think it's
ivory, champagne. Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to tell where I started and where I ended. Same colour.
Well, we did a poll on this.
Ooh.
Love a poll.
Can you tell we both just took a sip of our fizz then?
Love a poll.
We said, do you think wedding dresses have to be white? And 62% said not necessarily.
Perfect. I love it when they agree with us.
Yeah, it's higher.
I thought that would be higher.
Do you
I thought it would be, yeah.
Oh. I thought the vast majority would say.
Still a bit of a traditional thing, isn't it?
Maybe. I just think it doesn't have to be, I think, is the wording.
Yes. Yeah, the wording of that perhaps. So, okay, moving on. So, the most popular place couples meet is at work, closely followed by a pub or club. So do you think there's an ideal place to meet your other half? And where did you meet your other half? I know we touched on this in a previous, I think it was episode 1 or 2. So we did touch on how we met our other halves there. But Caroline, do you think there's like an ideal place?
Not anymore. I think when I'm looking back to like when my parents would have met, they were farmers, and it was young farmers, and that's all there was. And it was those social gatherings, and then they used to, arrange to meet 4 days later at the post box or whatever. Whereas I don't know if we did. I just made that up. But do you know what I mean? That's how it used to be. Whereas now, if you ask most people, I'm making this up, I guess, but where they meet, a lot of it's online.
Yes,
there's a lot online, like
You're right.
these different, like Tinder and most of my friends actually met online. Tinder, Plenty of Fish, Match.com, all these.
Yeah.
And is that an ideal place to meet someone? Probably not on a safety aspect, but it's where people meet, and a lot of people, they meet and then they realise they've got mutual friends, and they went to school together and they just didn't know it and things. So that's a big thing. And like Carl and I met via friends, and we actually met at this flat, but very random. But it's this thing of there's no ideal places and it's more about the timing, I think. Like when's an ideal time to meet somebody in your life rather than a place.
I agree with that. Julie?
Yeah, I agree. I think I don't think there's an ideal time. I think in my parents' generation it would have been, my dad was sent to war. So he was in the armed forces. They had to do national service. So people got to know each other through letter writing and things like that. So sometimes I think that period of time where people get to know each other meant that they fostered a friendship that turned into a relationship at a different time. And maybe you get some of that on the online arrangements where people are cautious about meeting. Certainly women are more cautious about meeting the men. And so you develop a friendship and perhaps communicate in a different way. Whether or not that's true, I don't know. But I think certainly for me, when I met my current husband, I put it that way, we were older, and so just going to the pub I certainly wouldn't have met him in a club. That it's very difficult to meet people of your own age because you don't do those sorts of things. No. So there is no alternative other than maybe online or doing their divorce.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily the right place to meet, but it's just where you happen to cross paths.
Yeah,
exactly.
I would love to think that I'd meet a future husband and married.
Woo!
Yes, whilst I'm signing your divorce. That's not the right way. But I think it's about that. It's still a very social thing, isn't it? Meeting people and
Yeah, I'd like to think you'd meet somewhere a bit sophisticated, or somewhere like a library or somewhere where
I met my I don't know if Carla liked this. I met my ex-boyfriend in a library at university. Yeah, at the first time I'd ever gone to the library. And you know when you lock eyes with somebody and you're like, oh yeah, hello. And he walked past. He was making a right racket with his friends, and there's me and one of my bridesmaids actually, being very studious, and walked past, dropped his number on my desk, and I was like, how ridiculous. This is a true story. True story. And I was like, that's ridiculous. Secretly really flattered. Got back to our flat and I ended up texting him because someone's dropped a number on your desk. And after that, he was always known as Library Guy. And then we're no longer together. I don't know. Probably. But that's how I met my ex. And trust me, funny. Yeah, it was funny. And you think it's all romantic, but realistically, no, he was an idiot. Yeah.
See, I thought, if you meet someone in the library, they're bound to be sophisticated and,
sleepy now.
See, if it was me...
Nowhere near as good as Carla, flat all the way.
That's so funny, though. For me, I wouldn't like to meet someone at a nightclub because I would think that that's obviously what you like to do on your weekends, even if I was there at the same time. Like, I rarely go, to be honest. But if someone was there and I met them through a nightclub, I would think, oh, you're obviously always out with your mates. Is that really someone that I want to be with? And that I don't know.
And you've got to think, haven't you? And I think, makes me sound really old, but I'm not into clubbing anymore. I'd rather have a nice meal and stuff. But when I used to go clubbing is when I was at uni, and what's everyone's up like? You go clubbing for what? Do you know what I mean? And for a lot of girls, to pull, that's the word. Clicking again. That's a rubbish one. But yeah, that's what it was, isn't it? So really, you're not going there to find a relationship and to find the love of your life, are you?
No, and I can understand the most popular place being at work because that's where you spend most of your life and you get to know your colleagues, and perhaps that's how it happens. So. There we go. Yeah.
Was there a poll on this one where you met?
No.
Claire. We
No,
did what
the
polls.
important ones.
Oh, Claire.
She didn't poll the important A pulling poll.
A pulling poll. That would be fun. What's your pulling poll?
Okay, moving on. So, in the grand old days of royal balls, the first dance was normally the opening number that kicked off the party. It was customary for the male guest of honour to invite the lady of the house to join him in the first dance. Do you think the couple's first dance has to be traditional, or do you think there's something fun about a more modern routine? And what was your first dance like? What was your first dance? What's it going to be? Julie, start with you. Any thoughts?
We have a special tune that's just a tune we like, but it wasn't a first dance. I'm not sure Paul was capable of a first dance, to be honest. He's very music orientated, so there's always music on in our house, and he will grab me up and drag me around for 10 minutes. So he, I'm sure that would have happened. I like the traditional stuff. I like the first dance. For a period of time, I started learning ballroom dancing.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, and do you know, I never thought I would. I always liked the idea of Latin American, but ballroom, it really is where the men were men and the ladies were ladies. If you've got a male partner who knows how to dance, they whisk you around the floor. Oh, it's the most awesome
sexy
thing.
Isn't it?
It is sexy in a very sophisticated way.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that. I kind of like the idea of that traditional. I don't like seeing a couple that just move around the spot in one circle forever.
An awkward
or
shuffle.
a handbag. Yeah. I love when the grooms and the groomsmen have got a dance set up and they do a whole...
Yes, like a surprise.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's just
I would
great.
love that.
Are you for more modern? Or?
Oh no! Oh, see, we're really torn. So, we have spoken with a supplier who you may be familiar with about having. I can't dance. I cannot dance. Oh my goodness, I'm rubbish. About having lessons, and I just like Julie. I love the boring. Just you watch Strictly Come Dancing, they're sweeping them around. I'm like, oh, I love it. But then on the other hand, love the idea of doing something really, really fun.
Yeah.
And I know it's really cheesy. I'd love it if Carl and the boys got up and started dancing. I think that'd be hilarious because I know the boys, and I just think it'd be hilarious. I love the idea of a flash mob or anything like that. I love it.
Yeah.
Also because effort goes into it, I think, as part of it. But oh yeah, Carl and I, we were dancing in the kitchen this morning. Was it this morning or yesterday? I don't know. We were dancing in the kitchen. I think it was yesterday. I don't remember. But we do it on a regular basis. And we have our own rubbish moves. But we always dance, and I love it. And it's one of my favourite things to do with Carl because we just can't dance. But I think you can mix it up and do what you want.
Yeah.
But you always have to be very aware of your dress and your shoes.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah. I love a flash mob.
Yeah. John and I couldn't have got more modern with our first dance. We did a 90s smash hits
Love that.
And it was a surprise for all of our guests. We lured them into a false sense of this is a slow dance, traditional style first dance, and it was, I can't remember, what was the song? I think it was, the song from Ghost, Unchained Melody?
Yeah.
We started with that and started a slow shuffle and then a record sound. Yeah, did that, and we just burst out into, I think it was S Club 7 or something.
I love a bit of S
And
Club.
it was a big mashup. It was about 9 minutes long, and we had about 10 weeks of private lessons. And honestly, it was the best thing we could have done.
I think it's awesome.
It was the best thing. It was such a laugh, and I was so excited to do it, and it was just fun, and it was just us. And we actually enjoyed the lessons.
I was going to say, did it feel like you were bonding in the lessons and you've got this little routine that no one else has?
And also the secretness of it, the secretivity. Oh, what's the word? Secretness.
The secretness is a word.
Yeah, having a secret for something to do with the wedding that was something we had control of was really, I have absolutely no regrets doing that. It was so much fun. It was brilliant.
And is there a video?
Yes.
That's another afternoon then.
Private viewing only. Yeah, so I have no regrets, and I think if you're the type of couple that don't want to make yourselves look an idiot in front of all your guests, then perhaps stick to something a bit more safe and traditional. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Always looking like an idiot.
But yeah, just got to have a laugh sometimes, I think.
And how did your guests react?
Lots of screaming, lots of shocked faces. Looking back at the video, didn't hear or see anything at the time. I was just so fixated on getting the dancing right. And yeah, when I watched the video back, they absolutely loved it. Everyone was cheering and just couldn't believe it. It was a surprise for everyone and a form of entertainment.
Yeah,
really.
I love it. I really think it's
How
lovely.
gutted would you be if that was the point that you went to the toilet? Like, not you, like as a guest, you'd be like, what's going on? You'd be gutted, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Well, a couple of people did, and a couple of people, like my grandparents, had to disappear because it was getting on a bit into the evening, and so they missed it. But we got the full video, so they got to see it that way. Yeah.
Fair play to you. I love it. I love that. I like that. I like that. When you're standing somewhere and suddenly a flash mob appears.
Yes.
I love it.
Always wanted to be involved with one. They had one when I was at uni.
They chucked me out.
And I was like, oh, why wasn't I there at that point? Yeah, I'd love that.
You need to do one for your wedding.
Oh, I
Honestly,
so would.
The lessons are the best.
So
thing.
would. Yeah, we've talked about that. Yeah, all over that. And plus, I can't dance in any way, shape, or form. I'm like really awkward, so we need it just for general dancing.
Yeah, just for general. Yeah, absolutely. Well, we did a poll.
Perfect.
And we said traditional or modern first dance. 68% said traditional.
Oh. What's the matter with them?
Yeah, 32% said modern. So maybe people are slowly coming around to maybe it is an alternative idea.
I think people are nervous of putting themselves out there. I think that's what that is.
Yeah.
Whereas doing a quick shuffle and then bringing everybody else onto the dance floor is easy.
Do you think people aren't aware as well of like wedding dance
choreographers?
Wedding dance people. Do you think because we know of them because we work alongside them? Do you think they're not aware of that?
Maybe people don't realise that there are people that specialise in first dance.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. You can find them on bouquetandbells.com. We have a few great ones. So they are out there and they're well worth talking to because it is great fun.
And they're not overly expensive either, are they? You're not paying hundreds of pounds for an hour lesson.
I think do it. I think go and have a go, because I don't think there's anything more beautiful than being able to at least get a few steps of a dance out there and be able to surprise everybody with something.
Yeah, absolutely. And even if you didn't want to do a full-on modern routine, they can still help you clean up on your dance moves.
Yeah.
You know, so you can do a traditional ballroom dance if you wanted to, but they teach you the
how
proper,
to do it.
Yeah, so it still looks impressive. You know? Yeah, you look like you know what you're doing.
So it's 100% from this place.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Fab. I love that. So, okay, 92% of couples still spend the night before their wedding apart. What are your thoughts on this tradition, and do you plan on, or did you spend the night apart from your to-be? Caroline, what's your plan?
Oh, I like the idea. With our venue that we chose, they had 2 bridal suites. So I obviously have the nicer one, and Harlan has the other one, and there's actually a staircase splitting off between, so there's 2 separate staircases. And I was like, no, you can have that side. And I really like that idea. I like the idea of spending the night before or the night of my wedding with my best friend. Not obviously my best friend, but with my girlfriend best friend, because I love her and we've not been able to do that since we were younger. And I really like that idea of being and just having a breather and having a nice hot bath or whatever, drink some fizz and just because I'm going to spend the rest of my life with him, and I spend every night with him anyway. It'd be nice for him to have that time with his friends, and I'll have it with my friends and family, and I really like it. I understand people that want to spend it together, but for me, no,
not an option.
No. Love him, but no.
What did you do?
I like it. I like the idea. We didn't do it.
Like the idea of spending it apart?
Yes,
Yeah.
I do think it's a good idea. I think it gives you both a little bit of a breathing space. We didn't do it. We stayed at home, but we got ready separately, albeit in the same house. But then we were able to kind of... We both showed each other what we looked like. There was only us in the house, and that was a really special moment because he was sort of like, I thought you'd have a dress like that, and you know, it's the first time we really saw what each other was wearing, and so it was lovely. So I do think that moment, I love seeing the videos, you know, where the bride appears and they have a few minutes together, or they're round the corner from each other holding hands, just reassuring each other a little bit. So I like those moments that are special, and I'm all for it. I think stay apart, spend your night before, boys with the boys and the girls with the girls, or however that happens, and just enjoy that last moment, because from the next day it's a different relationship.
Do you think? Is it? I don't know. I'm asking this like a...
Yes, I
is
do.
it different?
I think
Feels
I think so.
Yeah, definitely a difference, but like a positive change.
It's a very... It's hard to say because you are... It's a commitment that you didn't think you needed, but actually when you've done it, it is a lovely commitment, and it's sudden.
You feel a bit more secure.
Yes, it is a security.
Yeah.
I like being. I've said it before. I like being Mrs. Wixon. I enjoy saying this is my husband. I like introducing. Well, 9 times out of 10, I like introducing him as my husband. There are moments that I would quite happily put him in a shallow grave, but on the whole, saying this is my husband. Yeah, you know, I like that. I really enjoy that privilege, especially being older. What do you call him? This is my boyfriend. Doesn't sound right at 50, or this is my partner. It's wishy-washy.
So I feel like that now. I'm 31, Carl's 37, and even then saying he's my I call him my fiance. I don't call him my boyfriend because we feel too old. Because to me, a boyfriend girlfriend's from quite a teenage, young age, and like even now, like moving our wedding, it feels a bit like, let's get on with it. Let's do this because we're getting older. You know, we want that commitment. Yeah,
fiance is quite a nice phrase to throw around, though, isn't it? This is my fiance. Here's my ring. It's a nice little phase to be in. I think it's a nice little bubble. But we spent the night apart, and I loved it. To be honest, the night before the wedding, I think it hypes everything up as well. It's a really precious time to have with your mum or whoever, to have that sort of last night together with what traditionally would be hen and stag.
Yeah.
It's just a nice, calm time to just think, this is it, we can't do anything more, everything's done, planned everything, it's all, this is it.
There's excitement and anticipation.
One of my friends, when she got married, they had a marquee at her parents' house, and they said, right, nobody's allowed from 4 p.m, and they had her parents, herself, and her 2 siblings, no other halves, and they watched videos like when they're growing up, and it was like the last time that they did it as a family. Though she was the first one out of her siblings to get married, and they did it as we are a family, and this is the last time we're going to do it before it's extended officially. And I thought that was really lovely. And they made sure, it didn't happen at 4 o'clock, but from like 7 o'clock they made sure that happened. And I thought, actually, that is lovely if you're a close family. That's quite sweet.
Nice
I like that.
Yeah, I do. And I didn't sleep a wink the night before.
Did you not?
No,
I'd be out like a light.
A wink.
Excitement.
Everything, emotion, and it was frustrating because I kept thinking, tomorrow's such a long day, I need to get my rest, I need to do it, and I just emotions everywhere, just for someone that's quite laid back, I think again it just hit me all at once, really. Like,
did you stay on your own? Because I struggle to sleep on my own now.
Yeah, I was in my own room.
So I'd be like, Jade. My best friend would be like, Jade. I don't think I could sleep on my own. Not even now, just before, not even before.
Oh my God, I love it.
No.
Paul had to go at 6 o'clock this morning, and I was star-shaped.
Yeah, that's something quite nice.
No, I can't do it.
No. So, well, there we go. That rounds off that episode then.
Was there a poll? Was there a poll
No
on
poll.
that?
Oh, Claire.
Sorry. Next time I'll make sure I do a poll for absolutely everything.
We like the polls.
It's interesting to know what other people think.
Very interesting, isn't it? So, yes.
Amazing.
So, thank you so much to everyone that's listened, and I hope that you've really enjoyed it, and we would love to do more.
Yes, absolutely.
We've got so much more that we could talk about. So let us know if you want this to be a regular thing.
If you've got any ideas to share,
any
you want to
topic
talk about?
ideas we can waffle on about. Send
Absolutely,
them away.
and just remember that we don't consider anything off limits.
Especially when we've had a glass of fizz.
So nothing is off limits. We're prepared to discuss any aspect. And if you've got feedback, that would be really brilliant. I think I'd love some feedback.
We love a bit of wedding waffle.
Yeah. But for now, we'll carry on talking every day, won't we? We always do. And thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.
See you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.